All right, welcome everybody. This is Eric, my channel, Cajun Blade. So in the spirit of saving you the misery of me cutting them out on the table saw there, I have my blanks already cut out. This is the template I'm using for the scales I'm building today for a viewer. I don't build scales and sell. I'm doing for myself, but I have built for people on request when I cat ton. So this is a template I use a lot. I like it's good for 7/8 to 8/8 razor. This will be the maximum size I cut out to, and I can reduce from there depending on the razor size. So I can go all the way down to a 4/8 with this pattern. You don't see it right here because it's kind of pain to cut out, but when I'm shaping it, I will put another divot here to make it comfortable to hold, and that's what I call my bird's eye pin on the pin side. On the butt end right here, it's like I said, it's like a case solid buster knife. There, it's one I like. I also use this template on some razors. This is more 6/8, 5/8 type. It's the two I use the most. Or I also free-handed, just some traditional looking scales. This knife I need to finish scales for. I mean, a razor I need to finish scales for. Picked up a couple blades on eBay. I was gonna turn them into razors, see how I liked them. Pretty decent. Right at a 6/8, but these are some scales I like. They're just hard to get, this material. I've also, these are practice ones I've run and I've saved them because these clear acrylic are a lot easier to break than the black. So I've saved these. That's where the pins have split, pinning them. And if I ever run across razors that are short, stubby razors or chipped toes, I can fit them on sets of scales like this. So that's what I got, and we'll go from there. Next, we'll go to the scroll saw, where I'll go ahead and cut these out. All right, so evidently my video cut out, or I missed it. So on this scroll saw, I went ahead and shaped the more difficult areas here. I'll show you an example, finishing this up right here in the back, and then from here I will go to the sanding belt. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna leave it like that. We'll go to the belt and see, I just cut a base. It's very thick, very primitive look to it, but we'll go to the sanding belt next, and that's where most of the work will be. I'm gonna mute all the work on the sanding belt, and I'll probably narrate through it. All right, the basic scale design is there. I will have to go back to the wheel once I put the wedge in. So I left the wheel, the edge, a bit undone. I mean, the toe of the razor undone. And then I'll go back to the wheel and finish it out. Right now, I'm getting ready to go to the polish wheel, and then I'll polish best I can to see what it looks like, and then I'll go to some wet dry. Right, here, back in. I'm going to do some sanding. So what I just do, clean grit, sanding. My belt has a gator on it. I'm just going to start sanding away to get most of the rough off. Then I said, we'll just line up sanding. Once I then the dope this in, and then I go from there. But just like the rest of the videos here, I'll try to speed to this and everything. Yeah. All right, now I'm measuring where to set my wedge at. So I got a gold dollar, which is a 6/8, and probably a fairly normal size razor. Sneak peek of something I'm working on anyway. But anyway, I'll go ahead and put where I'm gonna pin it at. Here. And that's where my wedge will go. And I'm gonna glue one side down, all right, for me to drill my holes. All right, my glue's dried, and I'm gonna go ahead and mark my holes. I got a little square right here. I just line it up on the most convenient 1-inch mark. I did just go sand these two down, that way I had a level surface. Okay. All right, so my length is roughly 7/8 of an inch here, okay? Which is where I want a 7/8 razor would rest on top of here and be level this way, so this would be big enough for a 7/8 razor. Anyway, let me get sidetracked. So my pin is gonna go midway. So I'll go to 1, 2, 3, and 3/8 and a half. A hole there. So here, here. That's if I'm gonna put a single pin, okay, which I'm not, right? So I'm gonna use this reference here. I wanna put 2 pins here, one in each of these quadrants. And I'm just trying to get them to look half-ass decent, right? So I'm gonna come off in this quadrant 3/16 at this angle, and I'll put a little dot, all right, there. And I'll go, this quadrant is roughly 1/4 inch, so I'll make me a mark, a reference mark, midway. Then I'm gonna come off the same distance I did here, 3/8 even with that dot here. So I got some, see, somewhat symmetric. All right, one here, one here. That's how I usually get my rough measurement. All right. So with this, I'm gonna go, call it a 1/2 inch. There's my mark. All right. And if I want to be here, and I didn't want to come off. I'm gonna mark where my pivot pin hole is and come across here. There's my hole. All right, I'll go to the drill. All right, here's my drill press. So I set my drill press up where instead of using the center hole, I use this hole. So I can hit my finger and my thumb here to control the scale. Because what will happen is let me adjust this a little bit. As you penetrate the scale and it gets to the bottom piece, it'll want to walk and wobble your hole, and that can cause other problems later on, bending and shit of your pins. So I get as close as I can where I got control of this scale as I drill. All right, we'll go ahead and go from here. I'll mute just like anything else. So I found center. I'm gonna come off on that line. Instead of being dead right drilled, I'm gonna come off just a hair forward of that intersection. And that's it. We're gonna go to final shaping on the belt sander. All right, when pin it, I'm going to use a nickel silver for this one. Kind of wet my fingers, lick my fingers a little bit. Okay, sometimes, which is I guess a good thing, it's kind of tight on your micro washer, so it can be a solid gun to get it stabbed. So I'll use an old scale with a hole in it where I can see and kind of force it down on there. Good little trick. You can use old scales for wedges, spacers, you know, whatever you want, but they come in handy. So what I do, you can lay a piece like this and cut it. I just go flush and come up at an angle about like this. Go ahead and trim it there, and then use my ball peen hammer, okay? And I'll flip it. See, I have a little hole here in my, this is old log splitting wedge my father-in-law gave me years ago. And I use I split wood with a hydraulic splitter now, so it has been retired to a peening base. I also have this big, and I'll show you what I do with it. Turn the camera a bit. So I'll use the corner of this anvil right here, made out of railroad track, to kind of more precise. Once my final peening, I finish smashing the head down. Looks nice. All right, that's enough for this one. So I will take my micro washer. It's tight as well. So that's fine. There we go. All right. Wet my finger. Grab the other one. A few tools I use. I use this pick for the alignment. I got another set of needle nose I use. Take my old scale, get it down. Like I say, I go flush, come up a little past 45. All I'm trying to do is smash this one down where it's not gonna lose the washer. I'll turn it over. Same thing here, cut my excess off. I go flat, come up about 40, about right there. So you actually not quite the thickness of old pin, all right? Just like that. Go do our polish. All right, I got some plastic jewelry polish here on a different wheel. I'll start with this one. I use the green as well, but I'm gonna start with this one. Green's more aggressive. This is not a clean marker file, but this is just a shop towel right here. I'm just, before I get off the bench, I want to make sure I don't see a oh yeah anywhere that I need to correct. Yeah, I'm gonna hit it with some 1200 or 1500 here. Just do some final sanding, and then we'll go back here. And then I'll come back and show you what the final product looks like. We're not gonna put blade in it today. This is gonna be mailed off to somebody. But appreciate you watching. All right. We just got off the 2000 grit and went back to the buffer one last time. And we're gonna call that a wrap once I get it cleaned up. Like I said, it'll I don't have the blade with me. I have one in here. That's a 6/8. You better see. I will line up the hole. All right, there we go. That's 6/8 will sit in there. So it's actually a nice razor. Appreciate it. Thanks.